Hello and welcome to Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. I am Colred. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I am going to cover the perfect champion. His name, Runekeeper Dazdurk. Now, he may not be the perfect champion for you, but he is absolutely the perfect champion for my new free-to-play account. Now, if you watched my video from yesterday, my shard pull video, you know that I called for this champion and I pulled this champion. That has never happened to me in Raid Shadow Legends before. But there is a reason that I wanted this specific champion. Wherever you are in the game, however long you've been playing, and whatever state your roster is in, there is always one champion in this game that can unlock major progress for you. Usually by filling in a role that you are missing, or significantly increasing the performance of a role that you have, but with a champion that you don't really like that much. And that is the case here. Now, when I originally set out to record this video, I decided to do a couple of different things with it, and then after recording the video, I realized that I had sort of bitten off more than I could chew. So today's video is just going to be part one of the perfect champion, Runekeeper Dazdurk, and it's going to feature both as a champion spotlight for a great champion, and as the synthesis of a lot of the videos that I've been putting out over the last 3 months. So that was the great thing about this opportunity, is to show exactly how much progress one champion who is perfectly suited to your roster can provide to an account. I think this is going to be a really fun and special video, so I hope you watch it through, and I hope you also come back for part two, which I will be posting later this week. I hope you're excited for it. Let's get started. Okay, so in order to determine who the perfect champion for your account is, you have to know several things about your roster, and you also have to know what you are looking for in the future. So I'm just going to walk you through my roster as it was yesterday before my shard pulls. Okay, so here you can see I had the starter champion Athel, and she is built to 6 stars. She is fully built out. She is fully masteried and booked. She is my primary carry. She does the damage in terms of wave clearing. She also does most of the damage against the clan boss and the dungeon bosses. So you probably are in a similar situation, at least if you're in the first few months of your account, where your starter champion is extremely strong. And remember, I am only about 33 days in, 34 days in. So Athel does the bulk of the work. And I'm going to try to build a roster around her that is going to emphasize her strengths, make her even more powerful. And then also I'm going to try to look for champions that could potentially replace her in different places. She is my arena nuker. She is my clan boss nuker. She is my dungeon nuker. She is my wave clearer. So as I pick up champions, I'm going to look for champions that can replace her in some of those roles. But right now I don't have any of those. And I still haven't optimized her. I don't have a team around her that makes her as strong as possible. So let's look at what I do have supporting her. Now, first of all, I took Deacon Armstrong with my promo code. So I have Deacon Armstrong, and he is very strong and very helpful on my roster. He is mostly booked out. He is not masteried out. Now, he provides me with a speed aura in all battles. That's really important. He also provides me with an AoE decreased defense, which is very important, and then a turn meter fill. Now, he is excellent in all content, so he is the number 2 champion on my roster sheet. In addition, I have Sun Wukong, who is the free login champion. I haven't put much into Sun Wukong. He is primarily a buff stripper for me. He also does things like tank the spiderlings and spider because he can die and get revived. But I haven't invested any significant resources into Sun Wukong just yet. Now, in addition to these 3 totally free champions, I haven't really pulled anybody significant. So I did get Jamarsa from referral accounts, and she was one of my top 5 champions. And then I decided to go ahead and 6-star Shield Guard as my second 6-star champion. Now, I did this for 2 reasons. One was because this account wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't getting any pulls. My first Void Shard pulls from 4 weeks ago fell flat. I didn't get anything from my Sacred Shards 2 weeks ago. I haven't pulled anything from Mystery Shards. I would love an Apothecary even. So I just had to make do with what I had, and I needed another 6-star. So I decided to go with Shield Guard for two reasons, probably. One is that he's very cheap to build, easy to build. You can see he's fully booked and fully ascended, and I could do that all basically for free. I just needed the chickens to turn him into a 6-star champion. The second reason is he is a very good AoE damage dealer. He's very tanky as a defensive based champion. He gets a lot of extra turns on his A2, but primarily by being Spirit Affinity, he is strong when Athel is weak. So she is my carry, but going into Force Affinity fights, she is weakened significantly. So by having Shield Guard, he can support the team by providing a lot of extra damage when Athel can't. Now I am still getting the masteries on this champion, and I'll continue to do so. You can see he's also only level 57, so he is getting stronger as we speak, but he's built as well as I can build him right now, and I will try to add to that as I get more gear. So these are the 5 champions I've been running with, and you may notice a couple of things. One is that I have no increase attack. Athel comes with a 25% increase attack on her A3 that also gives an extra turn, but that's the only increase attack I have on this team. The second thing is I don't have another turn meter fill. I also don't have a cleanse. So there are a lot of things that I'm missing, and Runekeeper Dazdurk brings all of those things. So if we look at his kit, he has a leech on the A1. That's not bad. That's going to give me additional survivability. Now, Deacon Armstrong also has a leech on his A1, but remember that Deacon Armstrong can weak hit. And so against a Magic Affinity boss, he doesn't land his leech very often. So Runekeeper Dazdurk as a Void Affinity doesn't have that problem. Additionally, he brings this A2, which is fantastic for a lot of places. It's the large increase attack on the entire team, so that's going to increase my damage significantly. And then it also fills the turn meter of all allies by 25%. That is a very large turn meter fill. It's not the largest in the game, but it's very good. On his A3, he has an AoE cleanse. It removes all debuffs from all allies, which is very strong. And then it heals all allies by 25% of this champion's max HP. So that's a nice AoE heal. My Jamarsa is a reviver who has a single target heal, and that heal is decent, but this is almost as strong as that heal, and it's an AoE plus a cleanse. And then in addition, it will land a 15% continuous heal buff on any allies who have a debuff removed. So it's even more healing than just the 25% max HP. He even gives me an increased ally attack in all battles by 25%. Having an ally attack in all battles is a really good aura. You usually go with speed in the early game, but there will be times where you're going to want more attack stat, more attack value. And so this is a good secondary or tertiary aura to have. Finally, if we look at Runekeeper Dazdurk's stats, you can notice even at level 40, he has a really nice stat pool. Over 10k HP, almost 700 defense, 98 speed. He will get faster and he will get tankier as we go. Let's really quickly just look at him at 6 stars. So as you can see, Runekeeper Dazdurk at 6 stars has over 20,000 HP, which is a nice, healthy HP pool. And 1,255 defense, plus a really nice speed of 105. So we can build him tanky and survivable very easily. We can also build him really fast. And these are the things that we want to focus on. Remember, other than his leech, he doesn't have any skills that require accuracy. So we're not going to worry about the leech. We already have that on Deacon Armstrong. It would be helpful to have this land in some situations. But even if it doesn't, the rest of his kit is going to be very useful. And so we need him to be as fast as possible for Arena and as tanky as possible for everywhere else. Okay, so now let me show you how the account is doing. Now, just to confirm, if I go to daily logins, you can see I am on day 33. Day 33 is almost over. I have just a couple of hours left, but I'm on day 33 right now. We already saw I only have 2 6-star champions so far, so Runekeeper Dazdurk could be my 3rd 6-star champion. As far as the dungeons are concerned, if we go into the Dragon's Lair, you can see I am at stage 13, which is a good place to farm. So I am here. I can't really push past 13, or I haven't been able to push past 13, because that stage 14 is Force Affinity, and Force Affinity is tricky for me because remember, Athel is my carry, and she is Magic Affinity, so she's weak into stage 14. In Spider's Den, I am up to stage 10. Now, I got to stage 10 before I got Runekeeper Dazdirk, so I have added him to the team here, and I think I had Jamarsa in this position, so I took her out. Now, what this has done is bring this team up to a 100% success chance. Before, it was about 80%. So that cleanse and heal really helps out here, as does the increase attack. There's so much going on here that he brings value to, and we'll show more of that in just a moment. I started putting Runekeeper Dazdirk on this team when he was level 12, and he was never the target of the Spiderlings, which is surprising, but that's how tanky he is, and also being neutral affinity helps. So with a weak affinity tank like Wukong, Wukong was chosen as the Spiderling target, and that works out great for Runekeeper Dazdirk and the rest of my team. Now, as you can see here, my best time is 2.5 minutes, and my lowest turns are 77. Prior to adding Runekeeper Dazdirk to this team, my best time was over 4 minutes, and my lowest turns was like 120. So Runekeeper Dazdirk at 4 stars at level 12 has dropped my best time by over 1.5 minutes and dropped about 40 or 50 turns off of my lowest turns number. Now, so far, I've concentrated Runekeeper Dazdirk basically in this dungeon, so I haven't moved him into a lot of other places, but there is one other place that I started using him immediately where I've also seen a lot of benefit. This is my current arena team. Now, you can see I've put Runekeeper Dazdirk in this team. I did the same exact thing as I did in Spider, where I put him in basically when he was like level 6 or something. So he went in right away. I did build him, and I just want to remind you of his build. Now, what you can see here is I had enough gear on Runekeeper Dazdirk to get him up to 222 speed. Remember that he's going to gain, I think, 6 or 7 speed when he gets to 6 stars. So he's still going to get faster. I also don't have any masteries on him, and I don't have any books on him. So all of his skills and all of his basically build is at the weakest possible version of it that he could have and not be completely naked. He does have gear on. But at 222 speed, he is now my fastest champion. Before this, Deacon Armstrong was my fastest champion at 192. Now, you could say, well, hey, you had this gear that got Runekeeper Dazdirk up to 222. And I would say, yes, but I couldn't put that on Deacon Armstrong because if you look, Runekeeper Dazdirk has 0 accuracy. And remember that Deacon Armstrong is my debuffer. He lands my drop defense. So in order to get the 200 accuracy here that I want, I'd actually like more, I couldn't just put him in all speed sets. He is wearing a lot of perception gear, and he has accuracy substats, not just speed substats. So despite the fact that he was a very fast champion, he couldn't be my pure speed lead champion. But Runekeeper Dazdirk can, because even though he has a turn meter fill just like Deacon Armstrong does, he doesn't need that accuracy, so I can pile everything into speed and then tanky stats, get him as much HP and defense as I can. I don't have to worry about crit rate or crit damage. Resist is a nice skill on him because he's a cleanser. But by getting him really fast, what I've effectively done is increased the speed of all of my champions to 222. And that's how a speed-tuned team works in the arena. Runekeeper Dazdirk, if he goes first, if he wins the speed race, Deacon Armstrong is not 25% slower than he is. Deacon Armstrong is going to get 25% turn meter fill from Rune of Battle. So that means Deacon is connected. He'll go next. He gives an additional 15%, which means Sun Wukong is getting 40% turn meter fill, and he's running at 173, so he is going to be plenty fast enough. So now I have my buff stripper here. Now Euseus will remove all of the buffs from the enemy. And then finally, Athel running at 164 will also be connected. So if you've watched my video about speed tuning in the arena and how to build a go first team, this go first team is perfectly tuned. If Runekeeper Dazdirk wins the speed race, which at 222, he's going to win a lot of speed races where I am in arena, that means my team will be perfectly speed tuned. He is bringing the large increase attack, which is going to increase everybody's damage by 50%, because all of these champions do damage based on their attack stat. So again, where does damage come from? Well, one of the things that we were talking about is those multipliers, and a attack increase buff or an increase attack buff gives me 50% more damage on anybody who's doing damage based on their attack stat. So he puts that up first. Deacon Armstrong's AoE, which does damage on his attack stat, now hits harder. He lands the debuff. That gets Sun Wukong to go next. He strips buffs and hits everybody. He's going to hit harder because that buff is up. And then Athel now has the 50% increase attack instead of the 25% increase attack. So she's going to hit harder than she was hitting before as well. So knowing this ahead of time, knowing that this is exactly what I was missing, I needed a second turn filler and I needed an increase attack. I was considering putting High Katoon into this team to give myself a second turn meter fill, but that obviously doesn't give me an increased attack. High Katoon doesn't have that ability. So Runekeeper Dazdark was actually a better fit, and that's why I knew I wanted a champion like Runekeeper Dazdark. Now you can see I'm giving up a little bit of power here, but I'm going to go ahead and auto this fight, and it shouldn't be too tough. Runekeeper Dazdark wins the race. We get the debuffs, the buff strips, and the nuke. And all of a sudden, we've got a 6-second clear on auto in Silver 4. As you can see, I'm getting closer and closer to gold. And this team should allow me to not only get in gold, but progress up through gold. I will continue to have to upgrade this team with masteries, with better gear as I collect it, and so on and so forth. But this team composition should absolutely get me to gold 4. Now, the only thing that I'll be replacing in this team composition in the future is my Athel. Once I get a dedicated arena nuker, that might be somebody like Skullcrown. I will replace Athel, take her out of this composition, put the Skullcrown or the Genbo or maybe one of the legendary nukers in this spot. Now, the big switch at that point is going to be my nuker will have probably attack percentage boots. It should be an attack-based nuker to get the value out of Runekeeper Dazdark. And then that means that champion is going to hit even harder. And that's going to free Athel up to do other things, specialize either in Clan Boss or in Doom Tower or in dungeons. This team should last me until I get my Arbiter, at which point I will probably replace Runekeeper Dazdark with Arbiter, because she does the same job that Runekeeper Dazdark does, but she does it even better. But I'm at least 3 or 4 months away from that, probably at the pace that I'm going. So in the meantime, this is going to allow me to farm gold medals for my Great Hall and potentially complete those Great Hall Arbiter quests that I need to complete in order to get my Arbiter in the first place. Okay, so now let's talk about the dungeon runs. Now, like I said, I put Runekeeper Dazdark here in at level 12 or so, or 14, something like that. And he instantly transformed this into a 100% clear team. Now, what's so strong about Runekeeper Dazdark in this fight? Well, first of all, just like in the arena, that increased attack is going to give everybody more damage, except for Shield Guard in this case. He does damage based on defense. The second skill that's going to be really helpful is the cleanse. He's going to cleanse those poisons off of anybody that it lands on. He's going to give heals to everybody as well. That is going to keep the team nice and healthy and extend the fight if we need to. The third thing he's going to do is give us a second turn meter fill. Turn meter fill tends to multiply when used in combination. So even though Deacon Armstrong has a turn meter fill and that was powerful, Deacon Armstrong actually gets more powerful when Runekeeper Dazdark is added to the team. Because when Runekeeper Dazdark fills turn meter, he gets Deacon Armstrong back to his skills faster. And then when Deacon Armstrong uses his turn meter fill, he gets Runekeeper Dazdark back to his skills faster. So these two champions work really well in conjunction with each other to basically not only speed up the entire team, but effectively reduce the time in between cooldowns. You still need to take the same number of turns, but because those turns happen faster, the cooldowns happen more quickly in comparison to the boss going. So you might get, 2.5 turns per boss turn as opposed to 1 3/4 turns. And that means you're going to get more opportunity to land the debuffs that you need to land. You're going to get more opportunities to land the damage that you want to land. And you're going to get more opportunities to use your sustaining skills like your heals and your cleanses. So let me go ahead and show you this run right now. So again, we know this is a speed-tuned team from the arena. It's basically the same team except for the addition of Shield Guard. So the turn order is going to be exactly the same. We get that decrease defense out there from Deacon Armstrong. We have the increased attack from Runekeeper Dazdark. You'll notice all of the spiderlings are blowing up. I could obviously push this stage. I could go up to maybe stage 13 in terms of the spider, maybe even past that at this point. But this is the best stage to farm. And I want to make sure that I'm farming stage 10 quite a bit because I still need amulets and banners on a lot of my champions. Since I started running this yesterday with Runekeeper Dazdurk, I have in fact finally gotten my Athel a crit damage amulet. It's not a super powerful one, but it is, I believe it's a 4-star common, but it's giving her an extra 21% crit damage right now, and I can still take it from level 12 to 16 and get more. So Runekeeper Dazdurk has allowed me to farm this more efficiently, and that has gotten me an amulet for my Athel, which has made her stronger, which is going to help her not only in this dungeon, but in arena and in clan boss and everywhere else. As you can see, I have a ton of debuffs from this team. This is a really good team. I have a slow from Shield Guard. It is the lesser slow, only 15%, I believe it is, instead of 25% or 30%, whatever the big slow is. I think it's 30%. But so that slow helps us because we don't have any turn meter control here. We can't prevent the boss from going, but we can slow her down. We have the Weaken from Athel. We have the Leech from Runekeeper Dazdurk and Deacon Armstrong. We have the block buffs debuff from Wukong, which isn't a big deal. We have a ton of debuffs here that are really helping us out. And then again, Runekeeper Dazdurk is cleansing those poisons, increasing our turn meter, and increasing everyone's damage. One thing to note here again is I don't have any masteries on Runekeeper Dazdurk, and I don't have any of his skills booked. So his cooldowns will be coming down. He will get around to his skills more quickly. He will also get faster as I level him up, and he will get tankier, and he'll hit harder. So this is just at level 40 with no masteries and no books. He does have some decent gear. We know he's at 222 speed, but as you can see, he's doing a lot of work here for this team. This is a bit of a slower run than average. I don't know why that happened, but still, it is going to be a 100% chance to clear this. I have not failed in basically 24 hours of running Spider Dungeon. I've probably run it with probably spent about 600 energy in here in the last 24 hours. And I'm just trying to farm up those amulets and those banners. Wukong here being a great Spiderling tank. He is the perfect Spiderling tank for stage 10. All right, and there we go. That was a little bit over 3 minutes, which is actually kind of unusual. Typically, it's faster than that. Okay, now I want to talk about Clan Boss. You can see I actually threw Runekeeper Dazdurk into easy Clan Boss at level 32 earlier today, and I got a 1 key of 8.26 million. Now, prior to this, I had Hyria here as an extra damage dealer because she brings poisons. She's only level 40. I pulled her out, and I put Runekeeper Dazdurk in, and it more than doubled my damage. My 1 key quick battle on easy was typically around 4 million, which is still a 1 key. But all I did was swap Runekeeper Dazdurk in, and I got 8 million on a single key. In addition, on normal, what I was doing with my old team was I was getting roughly 3.5 million damage, and that is not enough for a 1 key. So he got me the quick battle 1 key here against normal difficulty of the clan boss. Now, I haven't brought him into hard yet. I am about to do that in just a little bit. So I just wanted to give you a reference point for how we're doing in clan boss. Now, I am a bit behind my clan here. I've been stuck. This account has not been moving along. So the amount of progress this champion is going to get me in all of these areas is going to be significant. And that's what this video is going to show you, because now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start building this guy all the way out. Now, why are we going to build out Runekeeper Dazdurk? What makes him the next 6-star? Certainly he's doing the job at 40. Maybe we can just leave him at 40 or bring him up to 50 and get a lot of value out of him. And that's a good question. So if we look at my roster here, I don't really have a guaranteed 6-star champion anywhere else on my roster. There are a few who could be considered 6 stars. And I guess what I would say is there are guaranteed 6 stars, but there aren't champions that need to be 6-starred next. So I think my guaranteed 6 stars are Deacon Armstrong and Sun Wukong. Those are the two most obvious ones. I'm already using them. They're very strong, and I know I'm going to continue using them for a long time. Now, I can't book out Sun Wukong, so I could make him my next 6-star, but he's not going to be as powerful as possible, so I may want to wait on him a little bit. Remember, he's primarily being used as a buff removal champion, not as a damage dealer. So I don't necessarily need him to be tankier because he's got his revive on death passive, so he comes back a lot. And I don't need him to hit a lot harder. I need to get more value from other places. Deacon Armstrong could very well be my next 6-star. He would have been had I not pulled Runekeeper Dazdurk, because I'm going to use him everywhere, just like I'm going to use Runekeeper Dazdurk everywhere. Now, when you are choosing your next 6-star, there are 3 primary benefits you have to consider in terms of going from level 50 to level 60. The first is that you can use banners. So this is one of the few places where you can get speed, right? Like in your gear, you can get substat rolls on all of the pieces. You can get speed as a main stat on your boots, and then you can get speed on your banner. You can't get speed from your ring or your amulet. So getting a banner allows you to potentially get faster. Also, the main stat on the banner can be accuracy or resistance. And that's the only other place you can get those 2 stats other than your chest piece. So if you're going with like HP percentage or attack percentage on your chest piece, but you need more accuracy or more resistance, you could also get that from a banner. So getting access to a banner is one really important aspect of getting to 6 stars. The second major benefit is getting to the final mastery, the 6-star mastery here at the end of your mastery trees. So if you want to come down here and get Eagle Eye, you need to be 6 stars and you need to be fully ascended to get access to that tier of masteries. Likewise, behind me, if you go for, let's say, War Master to do extra damage against Clan Boss, you need to be 6 stars. So to do more damage to Clan Boss and to be more effective in your primary role, getting 6 stars and getting your masteries fully completed is another reason to actually 6-star a particular champion. And then the third benefit is the stats. Obviously, you get more stats the higher level that you are. So at 60, you have the most base stats that you can, which also gets the most power out of all of your gear that might be based around a stat. So defense-based chest piece here, defense percentage, chest plate here, will give me more defense if my base defense is higher. So getting him up to 6 stars would give me more defense, and therefore this perception chest plate would be stronger than it is now because it would be adding to those stats even more. Now, both Deacon and Runekeeper Dazdurk would highly benefit from additional stats. Both of them need to be tanky, both of them need to be surviving, both of them need to be fast. So all of the things that you can get out of 6-star champions are going to be basically equally beneficial for Runekeeper Dazdurk and Deacon Armstrong. So how do you decide between them? And it was really tough. It was really close. And I almost went Deacon Armstrong's way because I think the banner will be more impactful on Deacon Armstrong, right? Getting speed and accuracy on him is going to improve his ability to be a debuffer. In addition, the extra survivability is excellent on him because the longer he survives, the better off the team is. But I decided to go with Runekeeper Dazdurk as my next 6-star for one major reason and then a couple of minor ones. The first one is I don't have a banner for Deacon Armstrong. So even though I could open that spot, I don't have one. I do currently have a decent banner for Runekeeper Dazdurk, and I'll just show you right now. It is a 4-star banner. It has accuracy, speed, HP, and attack percentage. Let me get out of the way. You can see it. So it's only a little bit of speed, but that 9% HP is actually going to play quite a bit. And that's the other reason, because the cleanse here is also a heal, and it heals based on this champion's max HP. So when Runekeeper Dazdurk has more HP, he gives more healing to the entire team. So I can get him faster, I can get him tankier, I can get some accuracy on him, which is going to help him land that leech on his A1, and then I'm going to make that heal as big as possible. In addition, don't forget that when he goes from 5 stars to 6 stars, he's going to get an additional 6 speed. So he's going to get even faster. And I need him to be as fast as possible because he is my fastest champion. He's going to be that lead champion in the arena. Not the leader of the team who gives the aura, but the first champion to go, the fastest champion with the turn meter increase. And it does make more sense for him to go ahead of Deacon in the arena because his turn meter fill is 25%. Deacon's turn meter fill is only 15%. And so what that means is I can actually stretch those speeds out a little bit more. So having Runekeeper Dazdurk faster is better than having Deacon Armstrong faster. All right, now I waited for today to actually start to build Runekeeper Dazdurk out because there is a champion training event going on right now. And as you can see, there are some points out there to get. There are some resources out there to get, and I'm always looking to double dip and triple dip when I can. So I just needed to wait about 13 hours to build out Runekeeper Dazdurk. So I'm going to start doing that now. It's going to take me a couple of hours to build him out and show him off a little bit, but we're going to get him into all of those places. We're going to get him back in Arena. We're going to get him back in the dungeons, and we're going to get him into the clan boss. We might even mess around with Doom Tower. So I will take you through the important steps as I build him out. But now we begin. Now we actually get to have fun with our new champion, with that perfect champion. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to book him out. Let's get those books on our Runekeeper Dazdurk. You can see that he takes, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, and we happen to have 11 epic tomes. Now, I probably want all of these books. I definitely want the cooldowns on the A2. I definitely want the cooldown on the A3. And I think the A1 we could potentially leave alone, but I think it's going to be fine. I want that extra 10% buff chance for the Leech just to improve that ability. And a little bit of extra damage isn't going to hurt in Clan Boss. But if I happen to just land 3 books, or I'm sorry, 2 and 4. So if I land my first 6 books into the A2 and the A3, maybe I'll skip out on the A1 just to hold on to some books. Let's do 6 and see where they land. All right, so the good news is we got our 2 cooldowns. We didn't get this cooldown. We do need that one. And then we've got 2 here. So let's just go ahead and do 2 books and see what happens. No, we landed 1 and 1. So we're going to do all of the books at this point. Okay, and he's fully booked out, which is basically what I expected to do anyway. Now let's go ahead and rank him up to rank 5. We're just going to use our 4-star chickens here. We're going to go ahead and ascend him. Now we can also get him up to level 50 here, or I could take him up to like level 45 because I'm going to be putting him in some dungeons. And I don't quite have the 5-star chickens that I need to take him to 6 stars. I'm close, but I'm not quite there. So I might actually leave him shy of this. I'll take him up to 43 for now. Now we're going to go back over here. We're going to pick him an amulet. Now we want a defensive amulet. This has HP and defense with crit damage. Crit damage. So this is probably the best one for now. So let's level this up a little bit. Don't have any silver. 2 rolls into crit damage, which is unfortunate, but it's the best one I've got, I think. I mean, I guess I could use this one. This one is resist HP and accuracy. And this is giving me 1600 HP, which is what I want, because I want his heal to be as big as possible. So the resistance would be nice here, but I think that this is the better move. We have him booked. Now we have to get our masteries. Now I am actually going to buy the masteries here on this champion. So yeah, I've decided to buy my masteries here. I wouldn't normally do this. I've only bought 1 champion's masteries so far, and I want to make sure that I get him as strong as possible, as quickly as possible. So I am going to go ahead and buy his masteries. Now, unfortunately, he's only 5 stars, so he's not going to have the 6th tier, but I'm going to plan that 6th tier out. So let me go ahead and get all scrolls. And then I'm just going to go down the offense tree, and I will be getting War Master. And then in addition, I'm going to go into the support tree. Now I want his heals as big as possible, so I'm going to give him Steadfast Mastery. And he's also going to be less likely to be the stun target of the clan boss with this mastery. He probably won't be anyway, because he'll never be weak affinity. But now I'm going to go down the healing side here. And I'm also going to go down this 3rd column here. So heals this champion by 10% of their max HP for the first time an enemy is killed in each round. It's going to make him more survivable, especially in arena. He's going to get more accuracy here. I can't take the turn meter fillers. I could do it. I could do it if I didn't care about speed tuning him in clan boss. If I just wanted to get him more turn meter as much as possible, which isn't a bad way to go. But because I'm potentially thinking about him long-term as at least a nightmare speed-tuned champion, I don't want to have to change his masteries multiple times. So I'm going to go with that first, and then I can freely change him to a turn meter filler kind of build later if I pull him out of the clan boss team. So for right now, I'm going to go here, and I am going to go into Lore of Steel. Now, I just want to show you the power of Lore of Steel here. Let's go ahead and look at the stats. Remember, I've got speed sets here, right? So I'm getting right now plus 124 speed. And now let's go into Masteries and take that. And now what am I getting? I'm getting plus 129 speed. So that gave me 5 additional speed just from that mastery. And now we have to decide how to finish this out. So I can extend the duration of any buff cast by this champion. That's pretty good. He casts that increase attack. I don't want to take this because I don't want to change his speed. Increases the chance of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts by 5. That would increase the chance of landing the leech. And then extend the duration of any debuff. So that could extend the duration of the leech. So I'm definitely going to go with the duration of any buff. But now I'm going to think about this skill over here. Increases damage inflicted in the arena and all other locations for each enemy killed by this champion in battle. I don't think he's going to kill a lot of people. So I think I'm going to go with this extra 5% chance to land the leech. Because I'm going to have Deacon as well. So I should be close to 100% uptime with these two champions. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and glyph them out. And resistance is important and speed is important. But for right now, I only have a few glyphs. So I'm probably just going to go with my 1-star glyphs in most cases. Okay, so as you can see, RKD's HP pool is growing. We're up over 25,000 already. He's not even level 50. And for speed, we're running at 232. So we've gotten 10 more speed onto this guy in just the last few minutes. And he still has yet to get that additional speed for getting to 6 stars. And he still has yet to get his banner for getting to 6 stars. So we're going to get at least 10 to 12 more speed onto Runekeeper Dazdurk just by getting him those 2 changes. Okay, so here we are. We've come into Arena. Now, this team also has a Runekeeper Dazdurk. It is at level 50, and he has a 6-star Wukong and a 6-star Filja or something her name is. So this is a more powerful team than I have. Not a lot in terms of team power, but in terms of levels at least. I'm going to take this one off auto. I'm going to try it on manual and see what happens. We are faster. In fact, we are a lot faster. Look at that. Okay, so now Deacon is going to drop defense. We landed that on everybody. That's good. We could have weak hit on 2 of those. Now let's see how Athel does. She nukes them all out. All right, so that worked. I think that decreased defense was clutch there. I'm going to try this team here. 126k, I'm going in with 71, so no guarantees that we win this one, but let's go ahead and try it. Again, we win the speed race by quite a bit. See if we can drop defense on everybody. On 3 champions, not bad. We'll remove those shields, those buffs. And then let's see if we can nuke everybody out. Again, that time we were giving up how much? We were giving up 55,000 power. That was an impressive win there, right? Having that perfectly speed-tuned team, picking your targets appropriately. As you can see, I am creeping up on gold pretty quickly. I've already put Runekeeper Dazdurk on my defense team. Let's see how that's played out for the last few hours. On defense, victory, 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 victory. I've got a few defeats, but those are older fights. That's before I put Runekeeper Dazdurk on my team. Once I put Runekeeper Dazdurk on my team, I am crushing. Look at this. I beat a team with 133,000 power. And I'm crushing everybody else. But yeah, that's crazy that as soon as I swapped him in, you can actually see where I swapped him in. It was 11 and a half hours ago, probably right around here. Yesterday, I put him in before I went to bed. And, or actually, it might have been this morning. Probably this morning. I swapped him in, and it's been nothing but victories on defense because he is that fast and that strong. So I'm not losing any points here. I am just climbing towards gold, and I'm going to be in gold by the end of the night. All right, now we're going to check him out in Clan Boss. I am going to do the hard tier, which I have not done much of. I've tried before. I've gotten less than 3 million damage in a run. Now, remember, he is not 6-starred. Runekeeper Dazzlerk is not 6-starred. He does not have his 6-star masteries, but he will get there. So I'm going to go ahead and let this auto run, and we're going to see how it plays out. Okay, so 3.83 million damage, which is about 1 million more damage than I got the last time I tried hard. And this is into Athel's weak affinity. She's weak affinity here into force. So this is actually a very good result for me. Runekeeper Dazzlerk, I noticed two things. One is obviously he died first, so he's still not quite as tanky as we need him to be, but he's going to get more levels. And then the second thing is his AI seems to hold the cleanse for when it's needed, but unfortunately, because of the speed differential, when Athel was getting stunned, Runekeeper Dazzlerk had already just gone, and so she was getting her turn before she could get the cleanse from Runekeeper Dazzlerk. So hopefully, as he gets faster, we may be able to avoid that problem, so he can actually provide a cleanse for her when she gets stunned, and that would result in several hundred thousands of more damage, because she must have missed at least 3 turns there, maybe 4. So not a great result, but not a bad result, and definite improvement over where I was. Now you can see I'm just at the level to get into the second warrior chest on a 1 key, which is a definite improvement, because before I was not even getting the first warrior chest on 1 key. And so potentially, you know, I could get into this third chest, this night chest, which I've never gotten access to before, with only 2 keys. Now remember, I told you I couldn't get past stage 14 because Athel is weak affinity into the stage 14 dragon boss, but I'm going to go ahead and try this out and see if Runekeeper Dazzlerk can't make the difference. Okay, so one thing you may notice here is I forgot to put Runekeeper Dazzlerk on the team, and I did in fact pass stage 14. Now I'm not entirely surprised, because the last time I tried stage 14, Shield Guard was about level 25 or so, and Athel didn't have her new amulet with the crit damage, and also I think I added some speed to Deacon Armstrong as well. So my entire team is a bit stronger than they were the last time I came in here. In fact, Shield Guard's about 30 or 40 speed faster than he was as well. So it was a little bit close. That fight at the end got a little bit tight, but it did feel like they won with enough leeway maybe to be 95% likely to win. I'm sure they could lose in a particular bad RNG. But let's keep pushing and see how far we can go with the dragon. I'm going to pull Jamarsa out, put Runekeeper Dazzlerk in, and see how that works. pretty good run there. Again, a couple of problems with this cleanse. I definitely need to get Runekeeper Dazdurk some more resist. So if I can ever get a resist banner for him with speed, that would be great, because then I could have him cleanse the team here instead of getting stunned along with the team, right? It's not great to have a cleanser who can't cleanse because he's stunned. But you will notice that that clear was almost as fast as the stage 14 clear, just about 20 seconds longer and only 4 additional turns. All right, I want to keep riding this wave and keep showing you what he can do. So I am going to take him all the way up to 6 stars, level 60. I don't know if I can actually ascend him to 6 stars, so that's going to be a little bit tricky. But I should be able to do that after the server reset, because the Void Keep is opening soon. So if I have to wait, I will do that, and then I will continue recording the video later tonight and show you what he can do at 60. Okay, so that is it for part 1 of the video. As you can see, I wasn't sure that it was going to be 2 different videos. I originally thought it was just going to be 1 video, so the intro and the outro are a little bit wonky, but I appreciate you understanding that sometimes plans have to change. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this part 1. I still have more work to do on Runekeeper Dazdurk. I need to get him up to level 60, finish off his mastery, and get his banner on him, and then take them back into clan boss and dungeons and arena and show you just how much progress one perfect champion can make to your account. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also consider joining our Discord community. One last reminder, if you don't know, I have a stream every Tuesday. It is called Takeover Tuesdays, where I provide free account takeovers to viewers. So if you're interested in having your account taken over, or if you just like watching account takeovers, come watch the live stream. It starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. And also don't forget to check out our Noob versus Pro live stream that happens every Friday. If you want to see what those streams are all about, go ahead to the live tab in the channel on YouTube, and you can check out the past streams. Thanks so much for hanging out. I've been Colred, and I will see you in another video very soon.